What's up, everybody? This is Rob with TCG Odyssey, and coming to you today with just a little bit of opening of some eBay orders that I picked up, and I'm excited to show you what I got. So let's get started. For time's sake, I did open up these a little bit like a pre-open, and so just to make it a little bit easier and more fluid while I'm opening cards. So just want to show you a couple of the items that I've ordered up. So we'll get started here. First item I have is a Monkey D Garp. And it got a secret rare there. It's a pretty nice card. I don't think I've had one quite yet, so I'm pretty grateful to have one of those in my new collection. Second card I have is a Monkey Leader card. So, and then again, leaders are red background, not blue. Third card I have is Don Quixote. I'm probably butchering that when I say it. And that's just going to be a secret rare there. Next set of cards I have. So this one came from the seller. Not super crazy about the packaging like this. When people tape them into the mail, it makes them a little bit cumbersome to open up. And then I also am not super crazy about when people use tape on the tops and the bottoms of the cards. I usually just end up repacking those myself because I don't like the possibility of the adhesive getting on the tops of the cards. Also, just like a thing for myself is that when I send cards to folks, I typically like to put them in a top loader myself to prevent bending. It's just something that me, as somebody who's a little bit OCD about my cards, that I like to do generally. So what do we got here? Got a Sabo, and then a Sabo Leader. Another card I got, just another Sabo. So that was all Sabos in that set there. Nothing against the person who's packing the items or anything like that. It's just personal preference for me from collecting cards. I started collecting cards in 2023 with sports trading cards for the most part. And then I slowly entered into TCGs and found One Piece and just really like the story behind it. So this is kind of where I plan to be for the next several years. I really think the artwork's beautiful and the storyline's great. So I think One Piece is where I'm going to be at for quite some time here. So I really just try and spend my time finding the cards that I like. They aren't necessarily the biggest playing. They're not meta deck cards necessarily. I just go out and find things that I think are cool and potentially rare, and just stuff that I really enjoy. Speaking of, here's this is a new thing that I just discovered. So there was actually something called a beginner deck, if you can see that. So there was a beginner deck party, and I just discovered that. So I'm slowly trying to acquire some of the beginner deck cards. This is an Onami, which we've probably seen a lot of, but the beginner deck is something that's new to me. So I was excited to get a hold of one of those. Next card we got here. Again, they tape the inside of the envelope. Not super crazy about that, but I get that there's a purpose for it. But they did package it very nicely with a hardliner or a Guardian. This next card is a Boa Hancock. This is something I also just recently discovered, is the foil around it is considered the Jolly Roger foil. So it's a special type of foil. This is in fact a character card, but it's essentially it's kind of parallel. Somebody correct me if I've got that wrong. I really like the Jolly Roger foils. They're not too expensive right now, but I really like the look. I think they're a pretty distinguished card. I love the white background on them, so I'm trying to collect a few of those as I come along here too. next one I have here is another Jolly Roger foil, but this one's going to be a monkey, D. Luffy, and I really like, again, Jolly Roger foils, big fan of. I guess at this point I'll kind of show you how I pack up my cards in my little toolkit here. So this is just something I picked up at Harbor Freight. I think it was like 22 bucks. It's a small little toolbox. On the top, I have my graded sleeves right here, which just have the little tab on them. And then on this side, I have just my penny sleeves, so I can just quickly access the penny sleeves. In the second to middle drawer here, I have these are for like slabs, but I often like packing up multiple packs of cards, or like say 20-30 cards or whatever that are penny sleeved or top loaded, and then I stick them in here just to keep them nice and sorted. In the third drawer here, I'll have to refill it a little bit, but this is where I keep all my top loaders. So it's just a way that I like to organize all of my different kind of card loading stuff. It just seems like something that's really convenient for me, and I just repurposed a toolbox, and it just seems to work really well. So for something like the Luffy here, I re-sleeve them myself most of the time. I'll usually take them out of their penny sleeves, take a look at the card, and then stick it in the top loader, but just for sake of time, and I'm going to go and break the card. So I just quickly top load it, and then I'll set them aside. Just something I like to do. I'm sure everybody kind of has their own way, and not everything's perfect. I do like the style of this packaging here. They don't really use any tape, which is something that I prefer. And then they use these card guards, which I have quite a few of, and I like to pack my cards when I sell them like this as well. So inside here, I have the Kobe. So I really like that card. It's got the gold writing on it. It's a secret rare, or excuse me, is it secret rare? No, this is a secret, and then it's a alt art. I guess Kobe's becoming a more popular player or card to get. I wasn't crazy about his character in the TV show, so I really haven't gone out of my way to collect a lot of Kobe, but I did like that one. Got another Jolly Roger foil. For the sake of embarrassment, I will not try to pronounce that. But it seems like another popular character. Again, this is a character card, but it's in the Jolly Roger foil backing, so pretty cool looking card. Next card we have here is a Lim. So I don't have too many of Lim, but kind of been trying to do some learning on my own. Eventually I would like to play the game, and it does seem like the stats on it are fairly desired. So there's a once per turn if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may rest one of your Odyssey type characters instead, and at the end of the turn you can set up to one of your Odyssey type characters as active. I don't have too many Lim cards, so I figured I'd just grab one while I was out and about looking around. This one's really cool. It's a Treasure Cruise winner, Crocodile. It's a really nice card. Really enjoyed that one. So I'm trying to pick up some of these that are a little more odd. Another thing with like the packaging on top, you can see that there's some Scotch tape. Again, not too crazy about it because it usually takes like a knife or something like that to open the top, and I just don't like that it causes the possibility of me cutting the card or something like that. So I generally like them loose, but that's just me, just preference. Alright, another card that we have here is this will just be a second Luffy leader card. Just your basic Luffy, red-green leader. Alright, I'm going to open up a couple that I got from Japan. I've been ordering quite a few more cards from Japan lately. been trying to find some more special stuff that I really enjoyed that's just kind of out of the norm. These are I believe the 2024-25 One Piece Day cards. I got a couple of these. I really like the design in them. Let's see if I have one. I don't have one around. I do have a couple of these that are graded. I just really like the design in them, so I decided to pick up a couple more. These are Secret Rare Luffy. I think that they only made them in the Japanese print, but I could be wrong there. Another couple from Japan that I got is, now this card is something that I would consider like kind of a grail card to me. This is from 2004, and if you can see on the back, it's the One Piece TV animation. These cards are pretty cool. I see a few of them for sale, but this particular card is something that I wanted to get my hands on for a little bit. I ended up picking up one of these graded, and it is behind me. I'm not sure exactly where, but I wanted to get a couple extras. And the thing that I thought was so cool is that it's the Straw Hat Crew, and they're all playing baseball. With the Dodgers card coming out lately and the sports emphasis, I just thought that this card was a really awesome card to pick up. There's not many of them. I checked the PSA ratings. There's really not too many hanging around. And so I just wanted to pick up a few of these just kind of from my own personal collection. It's something that I thought was really unique, and something that I thought would be fun to have just because it's kind of rare in its own way. All right, another one from Japan. This one to me, just kidding, got another one of the same card. So I usually try and get duplicates of stuff at the very least if I can. A lot of cards I'm not able to for sure, but I generally try to if I'm able to, especially the cards that I really enjoy. Next card I got here is a Luffy Secret, and they sleeved that one really nicely, wrapped it really nicely, so I definitely appreciate that. This next card, packaged really nicely in box. They used some tissue paper. I don't know if this one was from Japan or not. This is my grail card, my absolute grail. This is my favorite card in my entire collection. Finally snagged a PSA 10 version. Can't see myself ever selling it, but I did pick up a second of it, and this is a 2009 card, and this is called a Wedding Nami. So really beautiful card to me. I ended up doing some research. So Nami was never actually married. I think with one of the characters there was supposed to be some sort of a wedding arrangement or whatever the fact. But I really thought the design of this was beautiful. I thought it was really rare looking, so I definitely wanted to pick up a couple of these. I do have a PSA 10 that I recently got behind me here. I could not see myself selling that card for pretty much anything, just to its rarity and how unique it is. I don't remember exactly how many PSA said were graded there on PSA 10s, but it was a very, very small number. So for me, this card that's my biggest winner here. I would like to get a couple more of these. Don't think I'll ever be getting rid of that. I did pick up just a pack of some leaders. Like I said, I do want to eventually learn how to play. So as I get some time, I just wanted to pick up a few leader cards here. Nothing too crazy, just no, I don't think these are even alt arts or anything like that, but got a couple of Sanjis, Shanks, Kalgara, Luffy, Vegapunk, and one of my favorite Vegapunks is this one right here. This is a graded Vegapunk. I just love the art in that. Don't know how to play Vegapunk exactly. I think it's eggheads that you're trying to play. Yeah, scientist slash egghead. Still trying to learn how everything works. Eventually, I'll get there though. King. Very excited for season 2 with Tony Chopper coming. Can't wait to see season 2. Very excited. I've watched the Netflix series over and over. My wife will pretty much expect to come in and see that I'm just going to be watching One Piece. So I'm sure she's excited for season 2 as well. Another Sanji there. Sabo. Charlotte Pudding. Enel. Sakazuki. And I do believe I have the pre-errata Sakazuki from, was it 2022? I think I have one of those graded. Marshall Teach. Don Quixote. Boa Hancock. And this is a new one that I actually haven't seen. OP08, Marco. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, but I hadn't seen it until a few weeks ago, so I thought that was pretty cool. Alright, got a slab that I picked up here. Again, might not have a ton of value, but this is a PSA 9, Boa Hancock. This is the illustration box. I thought it was a pretty cool card. I know that there's some going out there. There's another Boa Hancock that's going for quite a bit of money right now. I can't remember the exact version of it, but do enjoy the cards, and felt like I got a pretty good deal on that one, so I went ahead and picked that one up. I've been collecting One Piece cards for probably about 4 months now. I'm still learning about all the different characters. I'm not crazy on anime, so I've tried to watch the actual One Piece anime, but that's kind of my limitation. But I really have gotten into the card collecting part of it, and I do really enjoy the TV series. So that's kind of what's gotten me into One Piece. I'm not really buying these cards for money or to sell or anything like that. This is just kind of my own personal collection. One Piece is something that I just kind of found all on my own, and so it's kind of special to me, especially since the card game came out in 2022. I feel like I'm kind of on the front end of something, so to me it's just got way more sentiment than monetary value. So there's a Sabo that I picked up. What else do we have? Got a Lim Leader. And then finally, for my eBay pickups, I got another Lim card. Like I said, trying to pick up a few here, but I haven't had too many. Lastly, what I'd like to go over are some cards that I've prepped for grading. So these are cards that, even if they don't get 10s, I'm okay with that. These are more for my personal collection, and I think they look a whole lot better when they're graded rather than just loose or raw cards. Right now, the turnaround time on grading is pretty wild. I know a lot of people use like PSA, CJC, and quite a few other grading companies. I do like those. However, after doing some research, my definite preference right now is tag grading. I really like that their grading seems to be very consistent. It's all done by machine, by computer. Checks, I think it's 1,000 points or something on the card. I just really like that there's a lot of consistency there in the grading, so when you submit, you're likely going to get the same grade on the same card, as opposed to like a PSA where I've heard of people sending in one card, not getting the grade that they wanted, resending it a couple of times, and eventually they get the grade that they want. So for that reason, I chose tag. The lead time on those cards being graded, I think I've submitted my cards in late July, or no, excuse me, late June. So it's now September 1st area, and I don't have my cards back yet. I'll let you guys know about how long they take. I currently have about 15 out for grading, and I did send some of the Chinese Dawn cards, the blue special edition. I think they're the second anniversary ones, and Tag doesn't currently grade Chinese, so might save you some time if you did plan on submitting any of those. So anyway, let me get to the cards that I'm going to be sending off for grading at some point. Got them all prepped and sleeved. So here's a Nami. Yeah, again, this one's from the if you search them on eBay, they're called the Pie Berry Match, PY Berry Match. I've been trying to collect some of these just because I thought they were really cool. This is a 2012. I think that One Piece launched a card game, but it didn't really take off like the 2022 version has. So, but they do have some really cool cards. So I have a Luffy here. The way that I prep these is that I wear like a big nerdy headset, and I go through and I wipe the cards down really nicely, and then make sure that there's no fibers or anything on them, and then I put them in one of these graded sleeves here. So they're called a tab sleeve, and basically it has a tab on the top, and then it's got an extra kind of a semi-hard case around it, and so you just stick those in there, and it makes it easier for the grader to be able to access the card. So it's a Luffy there. Got another Luffy that'll be heading off to grading. Really like this card. There's my Great Dane right there. Really like this card a lot. This is Titan. He says hi. This card is awesome. It's called the One Piece Emotion card. I have a graded one right here. That's a CGC 10. So I'd like to hopefully get a 10 out of this one as well. This one is a from the starter deck, ST21. This is a Luffy, and I really like it because it's like the Gear 5. I like the colors. They're pretty cheap right now, so I'll probably try and grab a few more of those. You guys will get me for this one. Nefeltari Vivi. That's going to be a secret alt art. Try and snag some of these winners. Charlotte Pudding, rare. These are winner cards from, I can't remember which tournament or pack. I got a Nami. Baccarat. That's a judge card. I was really excited when I found there were judge cards out there, so I snagged a few of those. Got a Nami. I think this one's fairly popular. That'll be going off for grading. Off the top of my head, can't recall who that is, but that's the first SP I picked up. Maybe Utah. Botched that. And to no surprise, I have my Wedding Nami and a second Wedding Nami that will be going off to grading. Now I looked at these ones. These ones aren't quite as good as far as like the grading. I can tell that there's a few different things wrong with them, so I'm guessing they'll come back as a 7 or an 8, or maybe even less than that. But for me, from cards that are from, what is this, 2009, the grading part for me is more of like a preservation. So even if they do get, say they even came back at 5s, that's okay with me. It's more about the preservation and being able to keep them so they last their time. Now this is another one. I think I brought this one up before. This is a Capone card. Currently, if you go on PSA, there are 38 of these, exactly 38 that are a PSA 10. It came in I think a tournament exclusive pack or something like that. I think it's only in Japanese. I thought the card was really cool looking, and it took me a long time to find it. I think I just skimmed over it one day. and it took me a really long time to find the card itself. And then when I checked PSA, I was really blown away by how rare the card was. Only 38 PSA 10s, so that's pretty wild to me. So getting one of these off to grading. Is that Shirahoshi release event card? Another Shirahoshi. Sorry for the glare, guys. Have a Perona. Again, judge card. Boa, judge card. Boa, it's a promo card. Really like this one. Thought this one was pretty cool. It's a Luffy. P037. So it's another promo card from Luffy. This is the first anniversary. If you see the sticker there. Again, really sorry for the glare. This is the Luffy. I want to say this came off of PRB01, but I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've looked at a lot of these. Is that Jewelry Bonnie? Could be wrong there. Please feel free to leave comments and let me know. Vegapunk, love that card. I think it's beautifully done. Really enjoy that card. That's a leader. Got a Luffy leader that'll be going off for grading. I think this is the 25th anniversary Nami. So really like that one a lot too. I think people they talk about these being kind of a manga-esque card, just because if you see the writing in the back, they clearly don't have the value of an actual manga card. But I do like the design in the back. I think it's pretty cool. Another Shirahoshi here. Got a Nami alt art there. I believe this is a 2022 Luffy. I think I have a graded one of these laying around here. So the 2022s I think are cool because there's, the Romance Dawn boxes are going for an insane amount of money right now. And so I'm trying to find a few 2022 versions of cards. I think I have super pre-release Zoro, super pre-release Nami, just some of my graded cards that I'm trying to pick up from 2022, and then the other just raw cards that I'm trying to get graded and added to my collection. Luffy Taro. That one was kind of popular for a little bit. Haven't heard too much about it since. Here's one that I really like. This is a Nico Robin championship card. I think that's pretty nice. Got the gold lettering there. I think that's a nice card. This Shanks is not super popular, but I really like the artwork in it. So I grabbed a few of these. Probably can only grade 1 or 2 for now. But I feel like it's an underrated card as far as the artwork and the way that it looks. I have a Luffy Regionals. Another Luffy Regionals. Luffy Treasure Cruise winner. I think I have one of these that's graded as well. Came back as a 10. Nami winner. This card here probably has no value or not a lot of value to people, but when I watched the One Piece live action show, it became probably my favorite character just because she was so sweet. So the Kaya card, I'm going to have that graded. It's a character card, nothing special about it, but it's meaningful to me, so I'm getting that graded. This card here is, it's a card that I haven't seen a lot of. I initially looked it up online and kind of heard about it, and they're very cheap, but it's a really interesting card to me. I think it might have come from the 8-packs battle, but this is called a Rainbow Luffy from what I've heard. If you can see there on the on the color wheel, it's all colors. And if you read the writing, it says basically in certain tournaments and designated events, this leader is treated as a card with all card names, types, and attributes according to the rules. I've heard it described as a rainbow Luffy. Still very cheap. Not sure why, because I feel like it's a really cool and probably pretty rare card. It's another Luffy. These are all right to me. This one's they're kind of cheap to buy. They're nothing too exciting to me. I really like the Gear 5 version, the alt art of this. I have a couple of those, and so I really like the Gear 5 version, the one that actually says Gear 5. I think I have one. It's right here if you look. And then just a couple others. So that kind of wraps it up for me. Those are the cards that I'm out getting graded. The ones that I'm most excited about are obviously my Wedding Nami Ultimate Grail card for me. The Capone, I think one of the most underrated cards out there as far as PSA and how many exist currently. And then that Rainbow Luffy also kind of blew me away as far as how much they are versus what the potential value is. Again, I don't know a lot about One Piece, but it just seems like it's kind of a rare card that you're not seeing in packs, and so it's going to be a little bit tougher to find. So anyway, thanks for following along with me today. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I hope to be out and talking with you guys soon.